hey, here's the story. So a couple of years, and I'll explain this here in just a couple of minutes, but as many of, I think it was almost a handful of years ago, almost 4 or 5 years ago, I won that belt right over there. And we created a whole ad buying strategy around the belt. By the way, I fell in so much love with the belt. Yeah, I can't really grow facial hair, but this is what dedication and working long hours to do a presentation and training for you looks like. I decided to grow out belt hair this entire time too. Usually I have it tied up. Usually I like to show people, hey, I like to look prim and proper, but no, I want to embrace the belt. So in part of embracing the belt overall, we always get a lot of feedback with, hey, the program itself, the belt training program, if you're not familiar with it, essentially is this ethical propaganda Facebook program we've run for years. But it requires like 100 different buttons to set up really quick. And people have asked me over the years, Kurt, can you make this just a lot simpler? And I'd always be scratching my head. But then this thing called AI came along and we started to communicate with it and found out there are some really easy strategies that we can show people, like we're going to show you today, that literally don't require any experience. We'll tell you how to completely get set up or show you how to get completely set up and start to implement this really in real time. And that's what the goal is here today, right? Now, with that being in mind, I'm going to turn off my camera in a minute. We're just going to look at my screen. We're going to go from like a 50,000 foot view where I'm going to cover a lot of topics, just to give you some insight into the strategy. We're going to dive down to the 25,000 foot view, and I'm going to go really step by step through the entire process. Now, some of you, like my friend Laura, who's been running ads for well over 20 years, is, hey, hold my beer. I got this. And she'll be able to put up my training on the right-hand side and click the buttons as we go through or in the background. Great. She can easily do that. Now, if you're new at ads or you haven't done ads for a while, we're going to give you some time during this presentation to get stuff done and actually get it implemented. But I want to limit your overwhelm. If you feel that you become overwhelmed, you're like, man, this is like drinking from a fire hose. I'm going to have to watch the replay. You don't have to implement it today. You can watch the replay tomorrow. I'll be inside of Circle to help answer any of your questions. My goal for you is just to help you get up some simple ads quickly so you can start seeing results. And that's really what people are looking for. And that's really why you're here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and dive right on in. Which is interesting, we are actually going to talk about a case study, Nick, where we got 3,800 people to register for a webinar, really in about 50 days, resulting in over $100,000 in coaching shelves. I'm going to show that in just a little bit. But Nick, I'm going to turn off my camera since I'm going to be staring at my presentation. Yep, I'll be doing the same. I'll be here the whole time. Okay, I'm going to turn off my camera. Let's jump right on in. By the way, towards the end of the presentation, if you're interested in how we created it, we created this entire thing with AI. I'll happy to tell you about it for those of you who stick around. Nicholas, we have a lot to cover, my friend. So let's get this thing on the road. All right, we're going to talk about Microsoft. How about micro budget mastery? We have so much to go over, but truth be told, inside of our belt method strategy that we've taught for years, I'm making this up, but there's 50 different steps to getting started. This is step-by-step click. Literally by the end of the call, you'll be able to start running ads. This is what makes it really exciting. So for those of you who don't know me, almost all of you do. Hi, my name is Kurt, digital advertising innovator, national speaker. I love to travel around the world and share this kind of stuff. You'll probably hear it in my voice. I get really excited when I find something that works, and then I get to teach it and explain to other people. And the feedback that I like to receive is, oh my goodness, you made it easy for me. Here's how it changed my life. And that's what I'm looking to do with you today. So Nick, you are amazing. That's why we're great business partners. If you've been following us for a while, you know that I like to talk a lot. And Nick is my backbone. We've been together, I don't know, almost 15, 16 years, longer than any other relationship I've ever had. I'm going to talk 99% of the time. And every once in a while, Nick's going to show up and say something brilliant. So if you are familiar with Jay and Silent Bob, yeah, I'm like a crazy Jay and Nick's a Silent Bob. But every once in a while, you're hearing Nick pop up and say something that's really brilliant. And just for background for Nick is we've been business partners forever. He really takes care of a lot of the back end stuff, customer service stuff, making sure that the membership side is all set up, making sure that all of our tracking is working, helps out our clients with a lot of the tech stuff as well too. Really just balance each other out a lot. But you're going to hear me talk most of the time and Nick come in here. It's so amazing what AI can do. Nick, how long did it take you to do that image? 5 minutes, 6 minutes? Like that's really good.
That's Photoshop.
That's really good. That's really good. So marketing secret weapon, the belt method strategy. So in 2019, I received the Masters of Marketing Championship belt from Mr. Todd Brown and recognizing my revolutionary marketing methodology. Basically what it is, we were together with 30 other media buyers. and we had a contest, right? Who has an idea that's duplicatable, proven, anybody else can do it in any other industry? Since I have an ad agency and I love to teach this stuff, everything that I talk about and give ideas to, I have documentation. A lot of people just have ideas. I won the belt, and it was one of the craziest experiences for me. And the reason being is because sometimes I make stuff complicated where it doesn't need to be complicated. And this belt really, lots of people wondered, hey, how did you get the belt? Where'd you earn the belt? What's going on with the belt? But it helped Nick and I really establish a protocol and a system and a method and a methodology to show people how to build the belief system with people. We call it ethical propaganda. How to engage with them, just like we are engaging in conversation, how to accumulate leads. And of course, with the belts, transactions. How do we get some sales? And this is where gangbusters really for the last 7 years, but since 2019, we just had a different way to describe it. This training is actually a fundamental foundational training for the belt method overall. So if you've ever heard about my belt method strategy and you're interested, how do I learn even pieces or how do I learn the whole thing? You don't have to eat the whole elephant. We're going to show you a strategy right here that you can get started with today that really is a foundation for the belt. So let's talk about dominating micro budget style. People really seem to like micro budgets. Now, I like the theme of the belt. It's fun. A friend of mine, Ryan's on the call as well too. Loves the stuff from the 80s and the 90s. I love WWF wrestling and Nacho Libre. That's why I grew up my hair, because I got the belt. But you're going to see a lot of kind of cheesy images in here that make it fun with wrestling masks and a wrestler. My goal for you is to create fun, memorable moments instead of a fire hose of information for you to be able to apply everything that we're talking here. So this, part of this, people used to pay $5,000 to come down to Austin to have us teach everything from A to Z. Here's going to be not a well, actually, I'm going to get into that here in a second. This isn't a preview training. This is a deep dive training. Let's talk about the fundamentals of meta advertising first. If you are here and you have zero experience, if you are just getting started out with Facebook ads and have no existing audience, this bucket's for you. The key focus here is to build brand awareness, finding your target customers. So you may test out some of these budgets. And again, I'm going to get more granular. You may be starting testing out budgets just at $20 a day, and that's it. Totally fine. We're going to show you what buttons to hit and exactly what to do. Now, maybe you've sold some stuff. So maybe you've sold stuff to family and friends. Maybe you've done some boost posts. Maybe you've sold a couple of things, but you just haven't got ads to work for you. Totally understand. This strategy can absolutely help you as well too. Now, if you're like my friend Laura and some of the other people I've seen on the call, you might just be like, hey, hold my beer. I just need the distinctions and let's run with it. I had 7 or 8 friends of mine that I jumped on the phone with before the presentation. Truth be told, to talk out the presentation just a little bit, where I would show them the strategy and they'd start implementing it. And really, if you have some really good experience with Facebook, it'll take you less than 20 minutes to set it up. It takes me a lot longer to explain it than it does setting it up. But once you're set up, it is easy to go off to the races. Show you exactly how to do that as well too. Now, once you complete the training, if you are a beginner, you're going to know exactly what buttons to hit. You may need to go back and figure out your ad creative or your offer, but you will unequivocally know what are the exact buttons I need to hit to make this thing happen. Now, if you're intermediate, you can get started on testing and see the difference in conversions in 48 hours. It's pretty easy. People following along with me here who are experts, you'll see the strategy. You're still going to run your regular campaigns of higher budgets, and you're just going to test out some of these micro budget campaigns. Within 2 to 3 days, you start to see results. Within 5 to 7 days, you know if it's working for you. Within 10 days, you'll know if it's working for you or not. It's pretty easy. And there's not a client that we've worked with yet that this has not worked on. Actually, I take that back. There's one client who said, I don't know if this necessarily works. And they let us go. And then as Nick and I looked back in their CRM, sales started to pour on in. They just didn't wait long enough. It's like they were 3 feet from gold, but the gold hadn't come in yet. So you don't have to wait that long for the gold to come in. And literally within a couple of days to a week and a half, you'll know if this absolutely works for you. Now, once you know about micro budgets, after the training today, you may say, okay, I just got to research my avatar profile a little bit more. I got to sharpen my axe before we cut down the tree. Totally cool. This training here is going to be in a replay inside of our circle group. We're eventually going to cut it up into kind of a course inside of the circle group, but it's always going to be here. If you need any reference, I'll be inside the circle group answering some questions from now and then. If you want some live support, I'll give you options for that later. Start to implement today. If you are familiar with ads, like I know Julie's here on the phone, start to implement today. We would also be honored to coach you along the way. Yeah. So if you want to implement today, I'll give you the instruction on how to do that. If you want me to hold your hand along the way, and what I really enjoy is the distinctions. someone will be like, I think I got 95% set up. I just have a question on this one thing. We'd be honored to help hold your hand and coach you along the way if you'd like to do that as well. And the other thing is maybe you watch this whole thing and you're like, hey, look, we're already making sales. This sounds interesting to prove my conversions or improve my conversions. But if I could just hire an agency, I'll just do that. I'll give you an option to do that at the end of the call as well, too. The whole goal is we just want to give you the information to get started. So either you can get started or you can inspect what to expect if you decide to hire a freelancer or an agency or something like that. All right. This is not your typical webinar training. I'm not going to talk about myself for 15 minutes and a hero's journey and how I was sleeping on a friend's couch and then made some money because I learned this one thing, and then show you a dog and pony show where you get all excited and I don't show you anything. And then I say, but you should buy my shiny stuff now. This is a workshop. It's not a webinar. I'm here to teach. We're going to implement. This isn't, hey, I'm going to leave you hanging. I'm going to teach you everything with this specific strategy for you to get started without leaving you without. That's probably the best way to say it. So here's the goal. In 72 hours, if you implement this, today is Friday at the time of this recording. If you implement this today, you will start to see results in the first 24 hours. On Sunday, you'll start to really evaluate stuff. You wake up Monday morning, you'll know what to turn off or what you can start to scale. It works that quick. I'll even give you an example here in a little bit. Last Saturday, we started with the brand new client. My daily budget last Saturday was $125 a day. The lead goal is if we can get leads for at least $10 or lower, $5 a sweet spot. Well, today is now Friday. That is 6 days since we started running ads. Because of micro budgets, we found the right ads, we found the right audiences, and now we're spending close to $5,000 a day. How do we go from $125 to $5,000 a day? Well, I'm going to show you how we do that as well. I'm not going to say everyone's able to do that, but these things can move really quick from small budgets to let's floor it. Nick, thanks for this slide. Here's the main thing is if you are a beginner and you feel that this is drinking from a fire hose, watch the replay and implement. If you are an intermediate and you're someone who can watch along and you can click buttons on the other screen and you're comfortable with that, that's totally fine. Again, I know there's people on the call like my friend Laura, which literally she'll be listening in the background, working on another ad account. When it comes time, when I say something that she can implement, she'll hit the 4 or 5 buttons. Whatever works for you, whatever you're comfortable with, that's what I want you to do. Don't feel forced that you have to implement, but if you can, do it. If you have any questions about implementation, I'll help you along the way. But let's just be really focused on the tasks that you're comfortable with to take you to the next step. All right, let's get the basics out of the way here before we dive right on in.